Tonight on News 5 Live, British PM addresses Briceño's comments at COP. Details emerge in drug plane landing. Cricketers head to Antigua, and a patient checks out of HMH after more than 3 difficult weeks in the COVID unit. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Have you ever wondered how to tell if someone is marriage material? Do you ever wish there was more to your marriage? Maybe you've asked yourself, how do I raise my kids the way God wants me to? Join us for our new series, Mixtape. We'll play through how God wants us to love the people in our lives one track at a time. Get ready to crank up the volume and tune in for advice God gives us in the areas that matter most.
Are you looking to invest in a growing free trade economy with ideal geographical positioning and existing economic partnership agreements with countries around the world? Perfectly nestled between Central America and the Caribbean, Belize is open for business with over $500 million in investment opportunities in industries such as agriculture, aquaculture, tourism, and much more. Register today to participate in the Belize Investment Summit 2021 and find the investment opportunity that's right for you.
You are hosting a small gathering at your home when suddenly your dog loses his cool and bites one of the guests. You rush your injured friend to the emergency room for medical treatment. Because this incident was caused by your dog in your home, you may be held liable for the injuries to your friend. Thankfully, RF&G Insurance offers public liability coverage on all our homeowner insurance policies. This provides you with protection against claims made by people from outside your household for incidents that happen in your home. We also offer liability insurance for businesses of all sizes, which will protect your business from those inevitable mishaps. Liability policies help to cover the costs of personal injuries, loss or damage to property, and even death. So you can rest easy knowing that your crazy dog biting your friend will be covered. For more information on liability insurance and your coverage options, our friendly representatives will be happy to assist you. And remember, report all incidents that may result in a claim to your insurance company. Call us at 223-5734 or visit our website at www.rfginsurancepolice.com to find an agent near you. Don't forget, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance, a road group company.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Debari, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, November 2nd. I am Sabrina Daly. A flight originating from South America on Monday night landed in Belize briefly before taking off once again to parts unknown. It is suspected that the aircraft was carrying a consignment of illicit cargo. There was a murder in Belize City on Monday night. Sean Palacio Sr. was gunned down while walking on Mud Street just before 6 p.m. Police say reports are a man walked up to him and fired a single shot in Palacio's direction, causing his fatal injury. There are more questions than answers, however, as to the motive. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Good, I'm in the hospital, man. Man, me breathe just now.
Jane Usher area resident Sean Palacio was gunned down only a short distance away from his Mud Street home. His neighbor, who told us she is a close friend, heard a loud bang.
In the evening, I get up and do my laundry. So then I heard something like a cherry bomb, like, you know, like how Christmas Day close? And people picnic would like play with cherry bombs and pop shot. I heard a loud noise like a cherry bomb. And then next thing I heard bawling outside.
Palacio was at his sister's house Monday afternoon. She says he was in a cheerful mood when he left her home.
The last time I see him yesterday afternoon that he came to my house and he came to some stuff and I gave him stuff and he went, and that was the last time I see him. So it's really touched my heart that I will not see him again.
Described as a selfless individual who would go above and beyond to serve others, Palacio was a construction worker by trade.
The moment I heard it, I feel a sharp pain in my heart. I heard from his friend. I was so angry and I was so mad because I said, I don't know what is going on in this country. Why are we living like this? Why are we killing up each other? Why are we hurting each other?
Anyone ask him for anything, they get it, man. I mean, he's a Rasta man, a nice Rasta man, that I even asked him, why you not going to be a minister? Because whenever somebody needs something, you always have it figured in. They could need pipe, they could need cement, they could need steel, they could need board, they could need whatever. He is right there for them.
His sister says she often sees stories of murder on the news, but she had never imagined that one day her family would have to endure the experience. Sadly, Palacio leaves behind 3 children.
I had to hold on upon the memory that he come here and laugh with the kids, them. You know, the kids can ask for anything once you have to give them. So I will cherish and hold on to the nice memory that we have together. We laugh, we talk. We like to watch a movie together. And then he like tell me, sister, now what this movie to do about? And then I said, sister, I don't want to see this. And sometimes we go back and forth to laugh about the movie. Always say, I said, you know, these things are going to keep in my heart that this was a fun time I have with my brother. And I miss him so much.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A flight originating from South America on Monday night landed in Belize briefly before taking off once again to parts unknown. It is suspected that the aircraft was carrying a consignment of illicit cargo upon its departure. However, when it touched down in northern Belize, it seemed to have simply refueled and proceeded on its journey. Despite a team of law enforcement officers being deployed into the area believed to have been the landing site, there was no sign of the airplane aside from the lights that were used to illuminate the crewed runway. This afternoon, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams discussed the events of the night before.
Last night, we had received information of a suspect aircraft coming our way from South America. As we would normally do, JAC, which is a Joint Intelligence Operating Center, began to mobilize and deploy members of security forces to different locations where we anticipate this suspect aircraft may land. And just around 2 a.m. thereabout this morning, we were informed by the Mexican air asset that the plane had landed somewhere in the north. I'm not going to disclose the location at this time because police and other military personnel are still in the area conducting operations. And so, based on the information we had obtained from the Mexican air asset, we deployed to the location where we were told the plane was seen on ground. On the way to that location, we received additional information that basically diverted the police to the operation teams to different areas. And searches were conducted, but so far nothing has been found. Based on what the Mexican air asset had said to us, is that the plane was a small plane, perhaps one of those small Cessna single-engine planes, and it did not stay on the ground for long. About a few minutes after landing, the plane took off again. We did make our arrival at the makeshift airstrip where the plane landed, and we found that it was still well lit. You have all the lights along the area that guided the plane to land. And so scenes of crime personnel and the police processed the area.
There have been reports that there was a shootout between Mexican law enforcement and members of a drug cartel in the vicinity of La Union. One media story says it is believed that the gunmen may have fled into Belize. While the police department on this side of the Rio Hondo was made aware of the situation, there was no official report fled with Belizean authorities, filed that is. Nonetheless, measures have been put in place to intercept the bandidos near the northern border point should they encounter local police elements.
We did receive an unofficial reporting that there was some shootout between the Mexican law enforcement authorities and some cartels in the La Union area of Mexico. The unofficial reporting that we got also suggested that members of the cartels may have escaped Mexico into Belize. So what we did was to ensure that we place our composite patrols that we have along our northern unofficial borders to be on high alert and to mount periodic VCPs in different key locations, areas where we believe if those persons were to come into Belize would be the only access point. Those operations are still ongoing, and up to now, we have not received any official or unofficial information that the cartels who escaped Mexico or who escaped that scenario in Mexico came over to Belize. We continue to remain on high alert along our northern unofficial border areas, just in the event that any of those persons would show up, that we would be in a position to apprehend.
Monday, a group of law enforcement officers was ticketed and disciplinary action may be taken against them by the police department. This after they were busted on Saturday night for socializing near Marine Parade during curfew hours. It's a bad look for the department, particularly since its officers are sworn to enforce and uphold the existing COVID regulations. The civilians who were in their presence have also been ticketed for the offense. According to Paul Williams, there is no worthwhile excuse that can justify these actions of those officers.
I personally am a strong supporter and advocate for the enforcement of the COVID-19 regulations. For the simple fact that I see every day the devastation that this virus is causing to our country and people. And when we have people who behave so recklessly and continue to defy the mechanism put in place to protect the most vulnerable, it makes me really irritated. I said to Mr. Rosado on Sunday when I was briefed that we cannot allow it to go away. And even though, yes, there are police officers, we work under extremely stressful situations, especially now with COVID, having to deal with people who defy the law. It is no justification for us ourselves to defy the law as well. And it is no justification for members of the department to use the cover of working under stress to break the law.
Coming up, the latest from Glasgow as our Prime Minister's comments get the attention of the British PM. Details when we return.
Hello friends, this is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness." The greatest thing about you is not what you have been, what you are, but what you're going to be. In Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness." So God created man in His own image. God gave you a visible body that you could reveal the invisible God in all of His likeness. It is obvious to me that most people are not there yet, but the good news is that God has not given up on you. The Apostle Paul said, "He which hath begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ." The Apostle John makes it even more clear when he says, "Behold what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. It doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself even as he is pure. Our children in the church say it best. He's still working on me to make me what I need to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth, and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be, 'cause he's still working on me. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Did you know that the 2021 Belize Telephone Directory is now available? Get your free copy today at any Digistore, Quartz Belize, and A&R location countrywide. It's available in both regular and mini sizes and loaded with coupons to your favorite places. Use these coupons to save every day. Plus, download the Find Yellow mobile app and always have the directory with you. It's available in Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2021 Belize Telephone Directory. Get yours today.
Is something wrong? Oh, you can go and use the bathroom. Take all the time you need.
Harmful bacteria can be found on all surfaces in public restrooms, making it unsafe for breastfeeding.
I want to use the bathroom again. It's not sanitary.
Okay, let me step out and you can have the room.
A shared responsibility means having a supportive environment within the workplace where the woman can pump her breast or even feed the child during her free time. This is a message from UNICEF and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about survivor's benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
The government of Belize, the Nature Conservancy, and the World Wildlife Fund are working together to formalize a project finance for permanence focused on coastal and marine ecosystems. Today, at a side event in Glasgow, Scotland, PM Briceño signed an MOU with the two conservation organizations that will see up to 30% of Belize's oceans protected by 2025. Similar PFP models have been Costa Rica and British Columbia. The signing was live streamed today.
Little did I know a year ago when we got elected we'll be working on something like this. But it's certainly quite exciting, as I mentioned earlier, that by signing this MOU with two of probably the largest NGOs in conservation, in the world of conservation, it certainly will help us to be able to ensure that we keep up to our commitments. You know, in many instances, individuals and companies and governments, I did not want to start with governments, sign on to agreements or agree to do certain things and they don't. But through this MOU, it will help to guide us and to steer us to ensure that we can live to the commitments, because The MOU is also tied to the announcement on the setting up of the this PFP that will be used to finance a lot of the conservation, the marine conservation work that we are doing and need to continue to do in Belize. So certainly for me as the Prime Minister, it's a privilege and an honor to be able to sign on behalf of the people of Belize.
Our job in the donor community and the NGO community is to be there to provide the support that we can for them to achieve their goals, because it is amazing, all of these proclamations that were made today, the billions of dollars, but at the end of the day, if his government doesn't have the budget or her government doesn't have the budget or the communities on the ground don't have the incentives and the money that they need to conserve, it's all platitudes. So that is our goal, is to really make sure that you all have the resources that you need.
According to the Prime Minister, the PFP also offers small island states like Belize access to reserves for funding in permanence.
Belize has been at the map when it comes to the issue of conservation. As it is, we have more than 30% of our land already in some form of protection. And with this agreement, we expect by 2026 we'll be having 30% of our oceans under some sort of protection. But what is important with what we're doing today is that this gives us now the opportunity not only to have what you call paper reserves, but the PFP gives an opportunity to countries, especially small countries like ours that have difficulty in accessing funding, to be able to ensure that we can have funding in permanence, as what PFP stands for. And for us in Belize, we are very excited about it.
Blue Bond Initiative, in collaboration with TNC, gives Belize a head start in its marine conservation effort while looking to the 2025 PFP. Belize's effort with the Blue Bond through TNC was also highlighted at today's side event in Glasgow. PM Briceño and CEO Jennifer Morris both hailed the approach.
Many small countries have borrowed too much, and COVID-19 has made it even more difficult. So in effect, like in our case, Belize's national debt is about 135% of GDP. And here's one instance where we have a private debt of about $560 million US owned by private individuals that we managed to sit down with them and to negotiate to pay them off. We're paying them off at a substantial discount. And by doing that, we are having, I believe it's one of the first, probably Jen, correct me if I'm wrong here, where a country is negotiating debt forgiveness, but also getting funding for conservation.
We want to help countries solve two big problems. One is, in the case as Prime Minister Briceño was mentioning, their debt crisis. Is my mic off? No, it's not. Okay. And obviously with COVID, especially a country that's so reliant on tourism like Belize or like Costa Rica and many others. I was just in Kenya, saw exactly the same thing where we as conservationists have thought for so long, well, ecotourism is the best. It's amazing. You're preserving nature. You get people to come and be educated about nature. It's great until you have a global pandemic. And then it's not a great choice for your economic model if that's all you have. So what we're seeing and trying to help in Belize and other countries is a model where we can, as Prime Minister Briceño said, take some of that debt burden and transition it into a conservation win.
In other news from COP26, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is launching an international plan to deliver clean and affordable technology across the globe by 2030. So far, at least 40 world leaders have signed up to the new breakthrough agenda, including the United States India, European Union, China, and many developing economies. According to the British High Commission, the plan is modeled on the UK's landmark net zero strategy. The aim is to make clean technologies the most affordable, accessible, and attractive choice in each of the most polluting sectors of the world. It particularly supports the developing world to access the innovation and tools needed to transition to net zero. The plan is expected to see governments and businesses work closely through a range of leading initiatives to scale up green industries and could create 20 million new jobs globally. This comes as the PM hosts world leaders on the second day of the COP26 World Leaders Summit at a session on clean innovation and technology. After the break, off to Antigua, Belize cricket players head for international qualifiers. But first, here is a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Yo, Belize, check this out. Magnum is giving away cash, television, speakers, Magnum packages, shirts, bags, and so much more in their Magnum Tech Charge and Win Things this season. Christmas promotion. Every week until Christmas, there will be new winners. All you gotta do is buy 3 Magnum from your favorite store. Take a picture of your receipt and WhatsApp it to +1 888 544 4723. Then stay connected to the Magnum SC Belize Facebook page weekly to see if you are one of our lucky winners. And if you still not understand, then tune into our Mega Magnum virtual kickoff party on Saturday, November 13th, live at 5 o'clock, featuring the General Super G, Denise Castillo, and is hosted by myself, DJ Dalla, Miss Aisha, and DJ Dynasty. Lots of cash and giveaways at the party. So start buy your Magnum and take charge and win things this season. Exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited. Must be 18 and over. Drink responsibly.
How can we support the emotional well-being of older adults during COVID-19? During the COVID-19 pandemic, and particularly while in quarantine, individuals, including older adults, may become more anxious, angry, stressed, agitated, or withdrawn, especially those who need healthcare assistance or have cognitive decline or dementia. Here are 4 strategies that can help you in supporting an older adult during this difficult time. 1. Communicate information and listen. Present with accurate, simple, and accessible information and facts about the COVID-19 outbreak, its progression, treatment, and effective strategies to prevent infection. Listen patiently to their needs and concerns. For older people with mild cognitive impairment or early stages of dementia, inform them of what is happening within their capacity and provide support to ease their anxiety and stress. 2. Promote positive mental and emotional health. Provide access to available mental health and psychosocial support services, also known as MHPSS services, for older adults and communicate when and how they can access them. Help older people keep regular routines and schedules as much as possible. You can also help them create new ones, including regular exercising, cleaning, daily chores, singing, painting, or other activities. Facilitate regular communication between older adults and their friends and families. 3. Help with medical needs. Make sure that older adults have at least up to 1 month of all the regular medicines that they may require. Explain how to use protective devices in a clear, concise way. Always be respectful and patient. 4. Assist with daily activities. Provide older people with details related to how and where they can get practical help if needed, like calling a taxi, dropping off supplies, having groceries delivered, and requesting medical care, as well as information on any locally available social support programs and services. For more information, consult the webpage of the Pan American Health Organization. www.paho.org/coronavirus.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plan? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
News 5's Dwayne Moody is out in Glasgow, Scotland, where the United Nations Conference of the Parties is underway. Today, the World Leaders Summit concluded with country leaders from small island developing states as well as those from larger countries referred to as the G20. The call is for action to be taken by those countries that have not made good on their commitments in the Paris Agreement signed years ago. Prime Minister John Bersenio attended and did not mince words. In fact, his comments caught the attention of the British press as a reporter asked Prime Minister Boris Johnson about the comments made by the Prime Minister from Belize. Here's Dwayne Moody's report.
Thousands have converged here in Glasgow, Scotland, in the UK, where climate change is a theme for the discussion. World leaders for the past 2 days have been meeting to address the management of climate change, be that mitigation, adaptation, and even access to climate financing. Belize's very own Prime Minister John Bersenio has been attending these meetings and has had a strong message for these bigger countries that have been emitting large volumes of greenhouse gases.
We are doing our part and prepared to do even more, but we're all in this together. We're all in this boat together. It's not a matter that we can do our part and then we can forget the rest. So it's a matter now of putting more pressure on the developed countries to be able to reduce their emissions and the actions that they take to control the rise in temperature on Earth.
Accessing climate finance is another issue. It was agreed to by these larger countries that they would provide $100 billion yearly to a fund to assist developing countries that are experiencing the impacts of climate change. According to PM Bersenio, annually the fund is $40 billion short. He says that countries like Belize need to be able to access these funds for adaptation and capacity building.
The $100 billion plus per year that's supposed to be set aside for financing, we hope, as I said in my speech yesterday, that should no longer be the goal. That's supposed to be the benchmark, that we're supposed to be able to raise more than $100 billion because the country, the world needs more than $100 billion for conservation. If you look at what the developed countries have done, they spend trillions of dollars to access energy, oil and coal and so forth, but yet are not prepared to put the billions of dollars that is needed to be able to protect their very own countries.
The realities on the ground in Belize are felt by farmers where crop cycles have been disrupted by changes in weather patterns, experienced by coastline communities where lands are being washed away. It is frustrating, and PM Bersenio's message was heard.
Countries like Belize, we have been doing our part. We are protecting our reserves, our land, our waters, but yet the bigger countries who have developed themselves and living a lavish lifestyle are in effect telling us we can't do what they have done before because we have to protect Mother Earth. Because of the changes in temperature, many of our islands are going to disappear. Some of them have already disappeared. We had a bird sanctuary that has completely disappeared. and the hurricanes are becoming more intense. And we could be doing decades of good work, and with one hurricane it can be destroyed.
So your message to China, to America, to the
They
EU,
need
to
to
the
do
UK?
more. They need to do more. They need to give us the funding, and they also have to be able to do their part in reducing their emissions so that we can reduce the temperature on planet Earth.
Sir, in terms of
well, I'm sure, of course, he's also included, and he was talking about it yesterday, but I hope that that talk can be translated into action.
You're absolutely right, Anushka, to highlight the feelings of people in Belize, but in vulnerable states around the world that are in the front line in the fight against climate change. And it's been very humbling to sit here and to listen over the last weeks, months, to colleagues of Mia Motley and Barbara. You heard her at the UN General Assembly say the same thing. Why should they suffer this immediate impact, this loss and damage because of emissions that we in our country began to produce 250 years ago?
PM Briseño says, nevertheless, Belize continues to prepare.
It's always difficult, but we have to be prepared. We have to do our part. We have to have our own technical experts, the expertise. And for instance, here where we are with the 5 Cs, the Caribbean Climate Change offices also that can help us to access some of the funding, and also the NGO community in Belize, both the Blue Economy, the Ministry of Blue Economy, and the Ministry of Sustainable Development, along with the Ministry of Economic Development, jointly all of us can help to be able to access the funding.
Reporting from COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Day one of the hearing of Belize's case in the Caribbean Court of Justice against the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago commenced today. Earlier this year, Belize sued St. Kitts, Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago, alleging that the two CARICOM member states were importing brown sugar from countries outside the single marker without imposing the 40% common external tariff. The government of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Belize reached out of an out-of-court settlement on conditions that were satisfactory to Belize. The government of Belize is arguing at the CCJ that the sugar from non-CARICOM sources, including Guatemala, is displacing regionally produced sugar from the CARICOM single market.
You are the Director General of Trade, Foreign Trade. The sale and purchase of sugar in the CARICOM countries, it's a free market activity, isn't it?
The CARICOM market does operate on free market principles, but that has to be context within the rules and regulation enshrined in the revised treaty. It cannot be read separately or handled separately.
We get into that. Don't rush. We're getting into that. So it's a free trade organization. So if I wanted, for example, to buy sugar from Suriname, and I'm an importer in Trinidad and Tobago, I could. There's nothing in the revised Treaty of Chagaramas that says no. Isn't that so?
That is correct. Suriname is a member of the community, is a member of the customs union that is CARICOM. Free trade does exist within the community.
If I wanted to buy sugar from Colombia and I was a sugar trader in Trinidad, there's nothing that prevents me from doing that. Isn't that so?
You're free to purchase sugar from wherever.
Right. So we in the CARICOM and operate a free trade market in terms of sugar. Let's leave CET for a while. We operate a free trade market system. Yes?
Well, you cannot divorce the importation of sugar from the rules that exist. There are certain rules that exist within the revised treaty that does apply to the importation process.
You are the one, the government of Belize or the state of Belize has brought a case on behalf of BSI. Yes?
Yes.
And you all are saying that BSI is being, wrongly treated sugar is entering Trinidad and Tobago without the CET. And therefore it suffered damage. That's what you've come here to tell the highest court in the land.
Vice President of International Relations at ASR, Mac McLaughlin, was the second witness to testify in today's hearing. He argued that non-CARICOM countries would not be able to compete in the CARICOM single market if the 40% CET is applied.
CARICOM market is a free trade market, as far as you understand it. In other words, a member of CARICOM can either choose to buy from a CARICOM member or outside of the CARICOM region. Isn't that so?
If we're talking about brown sugar,
yes,
it would make no sense, because it would be impossible for an extra-regional supplier of brown sugar to compete with regionally supplied sugar if the CET is being paid.
Well,
it would make no sense.
Hold on. What? Are you telling me, for example, that Honduras and Guatemala are bound to supply, or even Colombia or somewhere else, are bound to supply Trinidad and Tobago or any other CARICOM country with sugar at a particular price as traded on the world market?
No, they will supply sugar that makes sense to them. I mean, they will look for the best price they can get.
So let me ask you this question, logically from that. If, for example, Honduras, Guatemala, Colombia, or any other country for that matter of fact, chooses to supply Trinidad and Tobago with sugar, even when the 40% is added, is less than the price that BSI sells it for. Are you saying...
It can't be. Sorry, it can't be.
So, could you just... Why do you say it can't be?
Well, because it would be... We would always compete. It would be economically illiterate for us to sell sugar at a higher price than the CET value for sugar, and we're not economically illiterate. We understand what the CET price should be. We understand that we're competing with other Caribbean producers, and that should give us an equilibrium of price somewhere where we're competing with each other that falls well below any sugar that's coming in from extra-regional sources that has paid the CET.
In the days ahead, Belize and 7 other countries will be participating in the World T20 Cricket Qualifying Tournament for the Americas. The event is being hosted by the International Cricket Council and is the highest level of international cricket Belize will be attending. The event will be a double round robin with no final. The 2 teams at the top of the league table, once all matches have been completed, will be declared the winner and runner-up. Thereafter, both teams will advance to the ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifiers in 2022. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The journey to the World T20 Cricket Qualifying Tournament in Antigua has been a unifying experience for Team Belize, a selection of talented young cricketers from rural parts of the country. Led by Captain Kenton Young, a wicket-keeper and batter, the team has been training together in Bermuda Landing since last year.
We have a young group of guys and everybody been motivated from the start for one main goal, go and compete in the competition and do our best and try to get the W for Belize.
Getting that win, however, means that the guys will have to outperform at least 2 formidable teams that they are going up against at the start of the competition.
We have actually been preparing from 2019, but due to COVID conditions, we had to break, but it had been 40 weeks of hard training and preparation for this tournament.
Talk to us about your schedule and how you guys plan to be able to, either work at your optimal while you're in Antigua or to try to represent Belize to the fullest in terms of this leg of the competition.
Okay, well, our schedule, our first 3 days we have to be quarantined to do our COVID tests. And then after that, once we have a negative result, then we'll start our training. We have a day of full training, and then we'll be into the competition. So after that, we start our first 2 games will be actually against USA and Canada, which is 2 tough teams actually to be playing first up. But the guys are pumped, they're confident, and we're ready to go.
The opportunity to represent Belize along with his teammates is an honor for Young.
Just to be able to represent my country on a whole, that once in a lifetime opportunity, and I just feel blessed that I get the chance to do it at this time with a group of guys that I feel like motivated as much as me to win and make Belize proud. So it means a lot to me personally to represent Belize and show the talent that we have here.
Dr. Roy Young is the president of the Belize National Cricket Association. He has been working closely with the team in getting them ready for the competition. Beyond the tournament, however, is an active effort to raise public awareness about the sport.
For us, this event means a lot because it's the highest level that we have been to. We probably have been to this level in 2018, but this means a lot because we have put in a lot and we are expecting to get a lot from it. And for people to know about cricket in Belize, we want to start with the awareness. And a lot of people don't want to play the game because they're scared of the ball. There are different versions of the ball. There are tennis ball, there are softballs, and so on. So we have our females also playing now, and they played a slightly similar ball to the hard ball.
The feeling of being yet another one of the country's many sports ambassadors is an overwhelming one for the team captain.
I feel great, this is a great opportunity for Belize and for expand cricket in Belize, because as you know, it's mostly in the rural areas, so this will bring a lot of spotlight on cricket in Belize, and hopefully we could get more funding and so we could participate in more competitions, which would eventually help us to get better as well as a team.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Just ahead, the Minister of Tourism comments on inflation and fuel prices, affecting not just tour operators, but all Belizeans. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Businesses across Belize, both large and small, have been severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic since March 2020. To assist these businesses to reinvest, restart, and recover, the Government of Belize and the Central Bank of Belize have partnered to establish an Emergency Business Support Program, EBSP, which will make low-interest loans capped at 4.5% available through participant banks and the DFC to micro, small, medium, and large businesses that qualify. This program will be managed by a newly created special purpose vehicle named the COVID-19 Financing Limited, which will be funded by the government and the Central Bank of Belize. Eligible borrowers may use the loan for the following purposes: to restart business operations, to recover from pandemic effects, to engage in foreign currency earning business, or for working capital. Loan proceeds shall not be used to repay previous or existing loans or taxes, nor be used to pay dividends, share buybacks, or otherwise directly benefit owners and controllers of eligible borrowers. Small, medium, and large businesses can apply at participant banks or the DFC, while micro businesses can apply through the DFC or the National Bank of Belize. The target date to launch the EBSP is November 1, 2021. Learn more about how your business can begin to reinvest, restart, and recover by visiting www.centralbank.org.bz.
Following the COVID-19 vaccination, some people may experience side effects such as soreness at the injection site, chills, nausea, body aches, or a fever. But these symptoms go away after a few days. These side effects are a result of your immune system responding to the vaccine and are not a sign that you are sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccines will not give you COVID. When you receive your vaccine, the health worker will advise you what to take if you are experiencing any of these side effects. Remember, these mild side effects cannot compare to you not being able to share memorable moments with your family and friends if you fall gravely ill from COVID. Vaccines bring us closer.
Need a paint which offers superior quality and durability? Then the choice is easy. Designed specifically for your home's exterior, Benjamin Moore Ultra Spec EXT offers ultra smooth performance. It's easy to apply, has low odor, and is mildew resistant. Bring life to your home by choosing the color and sheen to suit your style. Benjamin Moore Paints, available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call OnNet, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
The high cost of living, coupled with the inflation that has accompanied COVID, have infected everyone's pocket, but particularly bedeviled the people who have lost all or part of their income. When he met with the media on Monday, Minister of Tourism Anthony Moller said measures are being taken to address not only inflation, but also rising fuel costs. He said that price controls can be put in place for certain food items. And as we alluded last week, the government can reduce its taxes on fuel.
Every week, I take another product to cabinet and I stick it in front of my mic and I say, this has gone up by this much. So much so that triggered off an assessment done by the Bureau of Standards. I know you say that they don't have the resources, but they did a thorough review of certain items and they're coming up with a plan to address this issue because it is a combination of global prices. The supply chain has been affected by COVID and other issues, but some of the local retailers are also increasing and price gouging, and we know that. And so the Bureau of Standards is working on a program right now to address this. The cost of fuel is crushing right now. It's $12 or something like that. And that is a serious problem for any tourism business, for any business in the productive sector. It is crucial that we address this in a reasonable way, but a lot of it is outside of our hand. In fact, if you go back and look at what also caused the Great Recession in 2007-8, you will see that the high fuel prices also aided to the housing meltdown, and I know it is crushing right now for a lot of Belizeans, for all of us, to pay $12 a gallon for fuel.
On Monday, Tourism Minister Anthony Moller told News 5 the outlook for Belize's tourism industry is promising, with more flights and cruise ships beginning to call at our points of entry. But because COVID is in our midst and can quickly turn life upside down, steps have to be taken to balance safety and livelihoods. He says he recently got a regional perspective as well.
There's a huge difference between being open 9 and 10 and 11 if you're a food and beverage operator, if you're a bar, restaurant. And so I understand the frustration from that standpoint. A lot of people are on the brink after almost 18 months of this. You can fly into the country without being vaccinated. You can go to church, but you can't eat. Now, Cabinet is a collective decision, so I'll have to go with it. But when we meet again in Cabinet in 2 weeks' time, I will present the position of the tourism industry. I meet this week with both BTIA and BHA to lay out our plan or our position as to how we would want to see the economy open up going into 2022. Last week I was in Panama for a cruise conference, and I spoke to other colleagues from Central America and the Caribbean, and they're looking at serious ways on how they can reopen back their economy fully in a safe way. And so we're having that discussion at that level.
The U.S. Embassy is continuing its Empowering Communities to Empower Themselves initiative with the opening of a new resource hub in the Jump Street and Rocky Road areas of Belize City. The program provides entrepreneurial training and business opportunities to former gang members on the South Side, while aiming to create safer neighborhoods and stimulate economic growth in underserved communities. It is funded by the U.S. Embassy's Office of Public Relations, Public Affairs, that is, and implemented through the Love and Kobe Foundations. Former gang members attended a 3-day mediation retreat with the Kobe Foundation and registered a new business in downtown Belize City called Prolific Minds and Hearts. It provides car detailing services and sells purified water. Since the ECTET program was initiated in October 2020, the U.S. Embassy has funded 4 community resource hubs in 4 high-crime neighborhoods in Belize City. Up next, the latest on COVID-19, including a story of hope. Stay with us.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV. Entertainment anytime, anywhere.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
There are some startling new revelations about how far-reaching COVID can be for some survivors. These emerged at the Belize Medical and Dental Association's annual Medical Congress. While children have not been dying from the disease, the new information reveals that even children who have not suffered from COVID have experienced other issues, including psychological problems. BMDA President Dr. Uldeen Wright shares more.
You can get a psychiatric condition as a result of COVID. One psychiatrist suggested that the time for this would be 90 days, while the other said it can go way beyond that time. So we're battling that, and it's not surprising because we have seen we have had a couple of cases reported in Belize with this, and we were just thinking, okay, it might be because of a stroke or organic change in the brain, but they're saying no, it actually helps affects the chemicals, and that is why you'd have people coming out with psychiatric conditions after COVID. Also, we have the dermatologists. They talked about how the skin manifestations, some people just simply had rashes that would look like an allergic reaction, some that would just look like bug bites, and these, when tested, were actually patients with COVID. And so they list out and they showed pictures of all the different kind of skin manifestations of COVID, which we found, which we had seen a few, but the severity of it, it was brought to light in the Congress. We had a pediatrician, Dr. Samos, presented on how COVID-19 is affecting children's health. And while we don't have much death reported from COVID-19, we do have children with complications, and a lot of times it is overlooked, but we have a lot of children suffering from anxiety, depression, or a mixed. These children have been locked up for almost 2 years. So because of this, they get frustrated. This can lead to depression. The mothers become frustrated, and this leads to abuse of the children, both physical and sexual abuse, because we know they're predators in a lot of households, and they're having more time with these children. And so a lot of this is being reported in Belize.
A significant portion of Belizeans suffer from some type of health condition. The latest statistics shared at last week's Belize Medical and Dental Association's annual General Congress reveal a large number of the people dying of COVID in Belize suffer from comorbidities. President of the BMDA, Dr. Uldeen Wright, shared with News 5 today what these latest statistics are indicating.
We were able to get someone from the Ministry of Health, Mr. Hagar, who did a thorough breakdown of how COVID has been going in Belize. What was a very good eye-opener for us was that the fact that comorbidities is one of the biggest factors when it comes to for deaths by COVID-19. So we do see that we have the vaccination and vaccinated and unvaccinated, but then within these two groups, we still see deaths happening, and the common factor is the comorbidities. So this was a major eye-opener for us, and also, but he he went on to give us the data of it, and he said that if you have a pre-existing comorbidity and you have COVID-19, you are 5.28 higher risk of being hospitalized if you have a comorbidity. And one thing we overlook a lot in Belize is that we have a great incidence of obesity or overweight. There, whether your BMI above the normal is between 18 and 25, between 25 and 30, you're overweight over 30, you're obese. And this is something, because it's so common, we often overlook it. And this is one of the major factors when it comes to being hospitalized and dying from COVID. Another thing was that we are seeing majority of our deaths above 53. Now, in the vaccinated group, it's above 60. Now, a next thing that was really catching was that although we're seeing breakthrough cases and even deaths, we still have that the fully vaccinated had a 35% lower rate of dying from COVID. And if you're vaccinated, you have a 60% lower chance of going to the hospital with COVID. So we still do see that the vaccines work and they play a major role. Thankfully, we are starting our booster shot starting on Monday. We started it. So everybody over 60 or with comorbidities are encouraged to get the booster shots.
And there's good news to report tonight, as a long-term COVID patient has been able to leave the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital. Ashley McClellan finally tested negative after being in the COVID unit until 23 days. The hospital's Facebook page celebrated the achievements this afternoon with a group photo of McClellan surrounded by COVID unit's very happy staff. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.